It was interesting. I would say that my expectations were not met. So, hearing about UK and watching movies, British movies, and all of the expectations in your head.
The quality of this content, some of them are pretty funny, and funny in a very weird way. And is that the direction we're heading to? Because creativity is beginning to die. Everybody's copying the same prompt, pasting and telling you, oh, I use this to create this video, copy my prompt and all of that. So are we in prompt marketing, prompt distribution? What exactly are we doing right now? Because it's becoming more interesting, by the day.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't know what AI is doing. I think many people are confused. People don't know what AI is about. I know there's loud noise. It's just the tech people that actually know what AI is about. The very few non-technical people that have learned about it, they are now teaching everybody. Now, they're teaching everybody the same thing because that's what they've learned. So, me and you that are tech people now, the way we would use AI, use Claude, use Google Gemini, will be different from someone who studied mass communication and have no tech idea. Now, they're going to use AI based on trend. So, what's trending now? Those sloppy AI videos. I am coming to your house. This is what happened with Bitcoin and NFT. Everybody was after making money. On your question of is AI sustainable? AI is going nowhere. We're doing a research on a tool called the Blue Brain technology. And the idea about the Blue Brain technology was something like AI, where if you die, they take a copy of your mind and put it in that Blue Brain machine. And your loved ones can chat and communicate with that Blue Brain machine. Yes. So when people say AI is the highest, I'm like, no, IBM is doing a research on Blue Brain technology.
So this is a virtual edition of the Brandwise podcast, and I told you guys, right, it's going to get better. And we have been, touring around the world in the age of AI, and I am joined with Joy Maker. Her CV is one that if I pile it up, right, if I have to pile this CV up, you need like 6 to 7 Ghana must go, if you know what that means, if you are not if you are not somewhere in Africa. So it's just like a whole lot. So she's in the UK right now, and we are having this conversation, and it's good to have you, Joy. And please say hi to my audience.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is Joy Mika, the famous Joy Mika, your AI big sister. I like that, right?
I'm so excited to be having this conversation because I and Joy have had, we've come a long way, very long way. And sometimes when I scroll my phone and see some of the videos we did, back then when she was in Nigeria, I used to laugh out loud. She was so small, and I'm just trying to like, oh, Joy, have you eaten? How are you? And all of that stuff. Right now, Joy looks so big, so full, and I was like, oh my God, money is good. Money is good. Joy, please, can you tell us the secret to your success? How has it been in the past 4 years?
It's been a great journey for me, especially with the fact that I moved to the UK with a scholarship from PTDF, a fully funded scholarship that I got in 2023. And it was just by luck because one day I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw the ad and I clicked on it and applied, paid 1,000 naira for processing fee.
Wow.
And here we are today. It's just been great moving to a country that I did not know anybody. It was just me. It was a bit difficult at first, but I was able to settle in, and 2024 completed my master's in managing innovation and information technology, and here we are. I'm a co-founder of an AI health.
We'll definitely talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that particular product maybe in the course of our conversation, because it's just going to be like a lot of AI conversation. We're going to discuss the trends. We're going to discuss the the ethical considerations around AI, and most importantly, how we are actually using AI
Yeah.
and how it's affecting our lives. I mean, a lot of things are changing. Just earlier today, I had conversations with some
Yeah.
creatives where we were trying to understand what exactly happens when AI starts doing exactly the things humans do, and what is the extent, what are we expecting, because it seems like whenever we wake up, each
Yeah.
time we wake up, AI has something new for us, like it's so mind
True.
blowing.
True.
You know, you
It's,
wake
it's
up, they are
scary.
telling you something is now doing something, something is now doing something. So we are worried at what point, where are we heading to from here? And I think that is a conversation that is going to be quite interesting. So, but let's start with you, because it's been a while. It's been a whole while.
Yes.
How was it?
It's really
like how was it like moving to the UK? I know you've talked a little bit, but give us like an insight, because this is Nigeria, and living, every young person in Nigeria right now wants to jackpot, and it has been a thing.
Yeah.
And for a lot of reasons, some for a better life, some want to make more money, some want to, to cut through the noise. Quite a lot of reasons why a lot of people want to jackpot. So, but what has it been for you? And again, how was school? What's the education standards there like? How just give me a whole background of how things are over there.
Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. I would say that my expectations were not met. So, I mean, hearing about UK and watching movies, British movies, and all of the expectations in your head, you move here.
I think my auntie said the same thing.
Cool.
My auntie said the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The expectations were different. It was so cold when I came in the first time, and I was a bit confused. I lost my way so many times. I got on the bus, lost my way to school so many times. I can't even count how many times. But the education system is top notch. We had like a standard student registration platform where we don't have to write our names like in Nigerian university to clock in when you come to the class. So we usually have a link, a QR code that we scan, and then you put a one-time code. So the one-time code pops up on the app, and then you type that code. So your friend cannot clock in technically for you unless they have like 2 devices. So it was quite intriguing. The assignment, the test, everything was seamless. It's not like the lecturers were angry with you. You know how they do it in Nigeria, where the lecturer is so angry at you, and all of those things. The support was massive. I think the highlight for me was the support with research documents from the library. We've got like 247 access for physical and online libraries. You have access to Microsoft because you are a student, so you have access to Teams, to customize emails, Microsoft document. You have access to LinkedIn Learning for 1 year because you're a student. You've got discounts on coffee, on food, on bus because you're a student. Some buses you can even get on for free if you just show your student ID. To tell you the truth, I did not want to stop being a student. You even get Spotify and Apple Music discount for student accounts. So many opportunities for students, and that was like one of the culture shock for me. I mean, I know I went to a private university that was a bit more better compared to a public university. However, the education system here beats whatever we have in Nigeria, hands down. It does better.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to experience that. And I mean, very soon we should tell similar stories. But so I used to tell young people that there is quite, so what I want us to talk about now, right, is the attitude, right? Can you, for somebody that don't have the opportunity to be in the UK or to travel out to study, what kind of attitude should they put up even in their current place of study or wherever they are? Because someone will tell you, I don't have this, I don't have that, there's no opportunities here and all of that. I know you were doing a whole lot before you traveled, and the truth of the matter is that, for you to even understand opportunity, you have to be attuned to recognize opportunity. You have to be able to, have trained yourself. You have to have this cognitive ability to know this is an opportunity. Free Wi-Fi is not to browse movies. Free Wi-Fi is not to to dance or trend on TikTok. It's to elevate myself. It's to elevate my mind. And all of that stuff. So in contrast, what would you say to somebody in Nigeria or in every other part of Africa that don't have the same quality of life or
Yeah.
education over there before transitioning?
So I would say there's this phrase I hold on to: hard work meets opportunity. You've got to be working hard and you have to be inquisitive. I was always inquisitive. In short, in my house, they call me the Google girl. Like my family members, they need anything done, I'm that person that they call because I will always go on Google to find it. So you've got internet connection, you have access to Google, which you are not taking seriously. You'll be amazed as to the number of things you can figure out if you have access, if you just go on Google and just search for something. So you have to be resilient, you have to be inquisitive. That's what really kept me afloat. Before I even left Nigeria, I was already working for some companies in Ireland, in Canada, and Australia. Those are the things that I put on my CV. And when I moved here, it gave me an added advantage over everyone because they could see that, oh, this girl has work experience in Australia, in Canada, in Ireland. Oh, we can hire her. It's not just Nigerian experience that she have, you understand? So you can use what you have. I always had the same internet connection everybody had, 40k. I think, how many gig? I can't remember how many gig for. I used to do unlimited. I used to turn on the gen. I used to buy fuel. I used to go to my friend's house. I used to go to the security guard house opposite my house. I was that person. I wanted to learn something. I wanted to equip myself. And I think this is why I see a lot of young people are not doing it. They want everything to fall on their shoulders. They want everything to fall on their laps. And life is not that fair. For someone like me who was orphaned at the age of 16, you will see that I had no advantage, zero advantage. The only thing I had was a scholarship to go to Maduna University, and that was what I held on to. And after Maduna University, I was like, you know what? It's either I do it or I do it. I must get it or I get it. So you have to be resilient. Yes, you can go on social media, doom scroll and all of that. However, there should be a limited time for that. You need to build yourself because people invest in you, not in what you say you've done. Or this is the things I've done. Okay, what can you do now? And this is one thing I've learned here too. They don't hire you based on what you have
just
done.
What you've done, yeah.
They hire you based on what are you going to do now, because 90 out of 100 times they will train you. If they employ you on a new job, they'll always train you because maybe they're using different products, or there's a way that they want. For example, if you are a UX designer now, if they employ a UX designer, they will always train you. If you don't know how to use design systems, they'll teach you. They expect that you should know auto layouts, components, and all of those things. Yeah, those basic things, but they'll always train you. So the fact that they always train you, they want to know, what can this person give us right now that we're here? Exactly. So you need to keep building. And this is one advantage I had when I went for my interview for the scholarship. They started looking at my track record. I had gone to an ICT hub, I'd interned there, I served at an ICT hub. I was going for tech events with ICT, different big companies. We were closing deals and I was somewhere in the picture, just smiling with these tech guys. And that was what I used as an advantage. They were like, oh, this girl already has done these things. I didn't know that those things I was doing 5 years ago will make sense in 2023. So you've got to be resilient, you've got to be hardworking, so that when the opportunity finds you, you are prepared to hop on it. Not that you're like, oh, it does not have so much, so we're not going
this is so inspiring, right? I mean, in every sense of it, because the way I'm seeing it, right, I think that it takes quite a lot of mental reconfiguration for someone to actually not see where they are as a limitation, but somehow as a push. Because you mentioned things like, you turned on generators, you went to places like the security house to be able to charge your laptops and all of those things. And these days, when I'm trying to tell people, look, there's some things that are no longer excuses. As a young person, the first thing you need to do for yourself, especially in this global village, right, is to kill the two major excuses: light and internet. Right? If you're able to find your way around it, all the money you are saving doesn't make sense. Gather all that money and go and buy whatever is going to keep you efficient, to be able to deliver. Because you're already in a global village, and there is a minimum that is expected for you to function in that particular ecosystem. I mean, that's so that's so inspiring right there. Now you've I mean, I've been following you now. Now I follow everything. I usually the first to comment. Uh-huh. So you've
My fan.
so you've kind of been through it all, and somehow you came to tell us, oh, I mean, curiosity killed the cat. Now curiosity have killed my cat now, so you have to resurrect the cat or cook the cat. So you have to find something and do to my cat. So like, what was life like? I mean, psychologically, emotionally, like, what was it like in that space? I mean, a lot of people want to know. I mean, we've always shown off strong, we always come off like, hey, we have everything figured out. And sometimes I would like to have this kind of conversations, because people also like see me. I'm like, this guy, you have everything, you have it all figured out. But sometimes I used to break down, like really break down, like real original breakdown, real life breakdown. And I'll find a way, pick up myself and do all of that. So how has it been? Because the juggle transitioning, your upbringing, having to cater for yourself a lot of things and cater for the people after you, and then still have to be you and still have to show up. Like, what was that entire story like?
It's an emotional one, very difficult one to talk about. It was not an easy journey. There's a lot I had to sacrifice to be the person I am today. And if I was going to go back to when I was maybe 16, 17, I'm not sure I would still be able to do it. I had a good support system to start with. My dad's friends, my guardians, uncles, aunties, they were always there for us. So it was a bit easy for me to, fall back to somebody and whenever I get to that point. But in terms of mental and psychology, I'd never really addressed the trauma and the pain and grief and everything until when I moved to the UK and I started therapy.
Wow.
I was able to see things from a different perspective of, okay, so this thing that's happening to me, it was not okay that someone should go through this thing. These are ways that, you can make yourself feel better. And funny enough, my therapist was in Nigeria, so we were doing like video calls and we were having different sessions. So it's not something I wish that someone should go through, but I think there are people out there that have gone through or are going through what I'm going through. The truth is, life is unfair. Life can never, ever be fair. And because life is unfair, if you put that already in your head and say, okay, life is unfair, what do I do to pick myself up? Because I always look back and I ask myself, will my dad be happy if I don't take my education seriously? Will my dad be happy if I don't turn out to be somebody, in the bracket of good tomorrow? So I look back and I'm like, I'm doing these things because if he was here, I would have done it and do it better. Yeah. So it's not here, I don't have the resources. How can I try to make it better? Like you said, it's a mindset reshift. You have to readjust your mindset that regardless of the environment you're in, you need to still be able to pick yourself. I was still able to pick myself. For so many years, I had insomnia. I could not sleep.
Wow.
I did not know what sleep looked like. For like maybe 5-6 years, I did not know what sleep looked like. The only time I could sleep like maybe by 4 or 5 p.m. That's when I'll sleep off and then wake up by like 8 and then I have to dress up and go to the office. I had like 2 jobs, so I would do like one Monday and Tuesday, then do the other one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it was not easy. It took therapy for me to come back to being able to sleep. So when people see me and they're like, oh God, I like you, I want to be like you, I'm like, at some point I was not sleeping.
You don't have an idea.
I was not sleeping. I could not sleep. I didn't know what it feels like to have a refreshing sleep. I only started sleeping well 2 years ago.
Wow.
That's when I sleep and I wake up and I'm like, oh, refresh sleep. So I didn't know what it meant. And this was an effect of all of the traumatic experience and me trying to push myself to an extra point. I'll stay awake at night, working on my YouTube channel, reading different stuff, designing, applying for jobs, doing so many things. And my brain got used to not being able to sleep. So it really was not easy. And moving here and not knowing anybody brought back that emptiness and loneliness that I was always fighting. But the one way that I helped to manage it was I just attached myself to a church community and found a group of friends that I was always relating with. So that way it made it easier for me. So that same support system that I had in Nigeria, I tried to replicate it here so that I will not I will not lose my mind.
No go Chris.
I don't go crazy. I don't go
All
crazy.
right, like that's. I mean, that's fine. Like, I wanted to like cry right now because can we get some tissue? That's an issue. If that's an issue, you can leave it. So, but but yeah, but because I think that, I mean, most of us, right? People don't see it, and I think that people should actually, first of all, be more. I think I normally tell my students some things beyond design, beyond all of that. I try to get them to be human. Two major things I put in front: gratitude and empathy. Right? This is like the core order of spirituality for me. If you don't, if you are not empathetic, if you don't try to solve problems, or you don't look at people from a place of, oh, this person, I can actually help in my little way.
Yeah.
All right. This is because the core, even the foundation of design thinking is built on empathy, right? So we have that, and gratitude, the ones you have, the ones you love, being able to be grateful for the things you have and the things that have been given to you without even you asking for it, because there's quite a lot of things you receive, just that sometimes we focus on the things we don't have than the things we do have. I mean, most of us lost the people we loved early stages, and when you are trying to pick up, there's just a lot of things that happen to people. That's all. Like when you step out and look at people and look at situations, like when people say some things online, I'm like, this person, it lacks something. Like most times trolls that go in people's DMs or on comment sections, say all manner of things. I'm like, the person lack love at home, and it's quite difficult. It's trying to get it their validation or let people, like, a lot of things happen. People feel a type of way. Their dopamine spikes when they see just one like on their comment. They feel, oh my god, I feel so relevant with 20 others. So if it happens, and it's crazy how people feel about likes and follows. Like, it's crazy, but let's now come into the world where we are living in right now. I mean, this is social media. A lot of things are happening, and things are becoming more visible. In just a split second, you can get an idea out of your room to the world, and with a few dollars here and there, you can convince everybody that what you are saying is true, right? And then that brings us to the entire AI conversation. So now we know that a lot has happened and a lot is going to still happen. Where do you think this is heading to? Because I have a very strong opinion that by the end of the day, we will still start craving and start demanding for human connection again. It's going to take a while. We're going to detach for a while. And we are human beings. Like, we crave. We're definitely going to crave for what was happening. So apart from the fear, the phobia, it is creating around job, around sustainability. How are humans going to be sustainable with this? How is it sustainable? For how long? And all of that stuff. What have you observed? All right, especially in this space. Do you think people are making use of it for the right reasons, or they're making use of it for the wrong reasons, or it's just still around hype? Just the way NFT, think about it, all those things, crypto and all of those things came around, and people are telling you how to, but they're not actually doing it. Somebody can tell you how to use AI, but they're not actually using the AI. They're only teaching you how to make funny videos, just the way, I mean, when .com era came in, who were telling you how to make use of it, how to make money on the internet, but then they said, well, they're only making money by teaching you how to, but they were not making use of it. Right? And then you're going to also talk about the fact that there is this idea of the quality of this content. Some of them are pretty funny, and funny in a very weird way. And is that the direction we're heading to? Because creativity is beginning to die. Everybody's copying the same prompt, pasting and telling you, oh, I used this to create this video, copy my prompt and all of that. So are we in prompt marketing, prompt distribution? What exactly are we doing right now? Because it's becoming more interesting, by the day.
Let me hear your opinion on that. So the thing is, I think a lot of people don't know what AI is doing. I think many people are confused. That's just true. Many people are confused. So because people are confused and don't know what AI is about, the very few that know what AI is about, they are leveraging on that. Sorry, 1 minute. I just want to connect my computer
Okay.
before that goes up. Yeah, okay, fine now. Yeah. So as I was saying, so I think that a couple of things to note is that people don't know what AI is about. I know there's loud noise. It's just the tech people that actually know what AI is about. The normal day-to-day person that would take their dog and walk down the street or go to a store to buy something, they have no clue about AI. So it's the very few people, the very few non-technical people that have learned about it that are now teaching everybody.
Whoa.
Now, they're teaching everybody the same thing because that's what they've learned. So, me and you that are tech people now, the way we would use AI, use Claude, use Google Gemini, will be different from someone who studied mass communication and have no tech idea. Now, they're going to use AI based on trend. So, what's trending now? Those sloppy AI videos. I am coming to your house. I am jumping down the road. Did you see my face? That's what's trending. So those non-technical people have identified that this is trending and making money. So let's use AI to make this thing. Again, because they don't understand this, so they're using it to make money. This is what happened with Bitcoin and NFT. Everybody was after making money.
Yes.
On your question of is AI sustainable? AI is going nowhere. It's even going to be bigger than this. What we are seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. Up until, I think, 2015, IBM they're working on a research on a tool called the Blue Brain technology. And the idea about the Blue Brain technology was something like AI, where if you die, they take a copy of your mind and put it in that Blue Brain machine.
Wow.
And your loved ones can chat and communicate with that Blue Brain machine. Yes. So when people say AI is the highest, I'm like, no, IBM is doing a research on Blue Brain technology. This other company, what's the name? I can't remember the name. Those guys that are working on a robot that will serve as your personal assistant in your house.
Yeah.
Those are high levels, those are high evolution of tech we're going to see. So AI is just basic. And the noise is so loud because these giant tech companies want to make money and they've given so much access to generative AI.
Okay.
So we see a couple of people using it to do different things. So again, because people don't understand what it's like, that's why everyone is sharing the same prompt. The prompt that I used to create this video, copy it and use it to do this. So everyone is copying, and we live in a TikTok copy era where everybody wants to be like everybody. So this is why it looks sloppy. The people that started copied sloppy things, so they are mass duplicating the sloppiness everywhere. And how do we correct this? This is why people that are AI enthusiasts or AI prompt experts can come in and rewrite that phase. Enlighten people that are other ways that we can use AI. This is why I try as much as possible to just show people other ways that you can use AI. I think I was having a chat with, was it you or someone else the other day, and I was saying, I don't know how to create those AI sloppy content. I don't know how they do it. I would write the prompt, but I can't get it. So it has to be, there's something they're doing because it's something they've copied from somewhere that they're duplicating. So unless the tech people rewrite the stories or rewrite the space, rewrite the prompting, we're gonna have this slop. It will be worse than this. It's going so deep because somebody is gonna come up tomorrow and beat Claude to their
you can even the way it looks you can actually use Claude to write a code that will create a new Claude, because I was asking, like, the kind of powers that Claude has you can actually develop a new Claude from Claude from the way it looks.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they are using. They use Claude to release all of those features. That's why they can release those features every 2 days. Every 2 days they're open, because their Claude is building itself. It's like a virus. It's just expanding itself. And this is why in the next 6-12 months we'll be amazed as to what AI can do. We'll not be able to differentiate between real and artificial anymore. The only time you'll be able to differentiate it is those sloppy content, those people that are still copying prompts. But the real tech people, when they start doing stuffs that are real, you will not be able to differentiate them anymore.
I think like we will even dive deeper into this conversation. I think how I want us to do it is that we may need to take case studies, right? Case studies on what is trending, and come back and have this conversation over and over and over and over again. Maybe just create a series for it in a folder. So bring some of these updates like as a constant reminder to where the last conversation versus this is what has happened, all right, especially in the AI space. Now, the final question. So now the conversation, what I wanted us to talk about that I think is important is the quality of the humans, right? It seemed like actually seeing a video of this pastor, all right, and it seemed like every black person actually looked the same, right? So every black person actually looked the same way. Right? If he's an old father, there is a particular face of one old man that always comes out whenever you the AI videos are prompted, all right, unless maybe somebody uploads their picture and all of that stuff, which I mean a lot of people have skepticisms around uploading their picture. They feel like it's 666, Satan is going to use their picture to create humanoids that's going to come and take over the earth, and there are still a lot of conspiracy theories about Artemis 2, that they didn't go, they went there to consult the devil and it's going to come to take over the world and all of that, satanic stuff. Now, why don't we have real, like why when you prompt something in around Africa, right, it still gives you some people, Caucasians, right, and you have to prompt for it to like kind of give you some black looking person that maybe the fingers are 5 or 6 and sometimes the eyes are coming out from their ears and all manner of stuff. But when you prompt a white person, it gives you a complete picture of somebody that is complete, somebody that is whole. Like, do you think our people don't have enough content? Because I've always had that issue. It was just lately people started contributing pictures to Free Pixel, like Africans started contributing pictures. An African man's idea of taking pictures or documenting has always been about hype, has always been about showing off, all right? But a white person's or someone in the West or Europeans, their idea of pictures is for documentation purposes, right? They're trying to build a story, they're trying to build a history, all right? Which explains why here somebody will tell you, I don't like to take pictures, I don't like to, make those videos, I don't like to do as I said, I don't like taking pictures. Like, what exactly is wrong with these people? Because back in the days, people pay a lot of money to take pictures. When you go to sightseeing, you see photographers had jobs, right, to do. People are paying pictures to document where they were. I mean, if your father and your mommy did not take pictures of, when they were young, when they were doing young love, you'll be able to relate to what young love is all about. So, so the people of today have a problem with documenting, and sometimes they will, sometimes some people go to their archive, delete all their pictures, say they don't want people to see how they looked before. Like, I want to understand that mindset. Is this something you do? And then remember the first question I was talking about, our contribution and how we are not able to get pictures. Is it our fault or the fault of the people over there that are creating these AI machines?
Yeah, I mean, it's even a great time that you're asking this question, because I'm currently working on a research to find out why there is this subtle digital inclusion and AI bias that I think I've seen a couple of times in the digital media space, and I'm seeing that repeating itself in this AI era. Like you said, if you write a professional, a medical doctor, if you ask Google Claude or Gemini image of a medical doctor, by default it gives you a Caucasian. Now, my research question has been, why is it giving me equivocation by default. But going deep into the research, I'm able to find out that there are a couple of factors that is making that happen. Now, the first thing is the white normativity. That's what they call it. So it's more of like an identity tax, whereby AI does not see humanity as diverse. It sees humanity, it sees white as the universal default. And this is from the term called algorithmic bias, whereby at the beginning of inception of internet, the internet space has been fed with the white supremacy, with the white data. So AI is pulling data from this data pool, and by default it's pulling out white people. Now, should we blame AI? No, we can't blame AI. Why? Because somebody has created that pool of data where AI is taken out from. Another factor is the digital divide that we're seeing. So many of these tech giant companies, what they do is they go for high average revenue per user data. And the people, who are the people that have high average revenue per user data? The Western market. So they always go there because it's more profitable for them. They save cost and they are able to use those Western data to train their AI models. Again, when this is why I am working deep on that research, because they have the money to train these AI models. So it's not about the fact that they don't have the money, but it's just the fact that there is that digital divide and that data poverty, that they don't want to invest into finding that data, again because of the subtle way digital media has been around the black market and the black skin tone. Now, another thing I found out was that in terms of metadata specification, images of white people, they are often registered or tagged as generic, while images of black people are tagged specifically. So they do is like a variation of like Sahara, they'll say Sahara, or they'll say rural, or they'll say traditional. So we've got our data is under that bracket of variation, whereby the Caucasian data is tagged as generic. So when you search professional medical doctor, by default, brings out a white AI will give you a white person. Exactly, gives you a white person. At first I thought it was a glitch, I thought maybe I was just being too much. Maybe it's not what it is. But I've tried Gemini, I've tried ChatGPT, I've tried Claude, I've tried Grok AI, Grok Imagine, and it still gives me the same thing. So this just goes to show that unless we Africans, create our own digital hubs where we would say, okay, this is our sovereign AI hub. We want to build this data bank and default it to us. Then these big giants, when they start training their AI models, they can come and tap into that pool. Unless we do that, we'll always be second on the pool. Same goes with platforms like CapCut, like Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. Say CapCut, for example. On CapCut has so many text-to-speech models where you can type a text and it just gives you the voiceover. There is no single African voice on CapCut. CapCut makes millions of dollars annually. CapCut has users cut across the world, not just the Western world. They've got users in Africa. But as an African, I can't use CapCut text-to-speech because there is no African voice. Now, a couple of people are going to say, oh, how about 11 labs? How many people can afford 11 labs? Okay, let's assume that I can afford 11 labs and I use 11 labs. Even on 11 labs, the other day I saw a Yoruba voice and it was so pathetic. I don't know if that was Yoruba or South Africa or it was Kenya or what it was. So for every time they say Africa, it's like they put West, North, South together and give you one to make it one. Forgetting that we're diverse. And if they're going to say, oh, Africa is so deep, we can't study it. Let's move back to the Western world. They've got the United States of America that has different type of people. Different. The Mexicans, people from Texas, different type of people. If you go on to Europe, we've got Paris, we've got Germans, that's the French people, we've got French people, we've got Spanish, different type of people. You come over to the UK, we've got the Irish people, we've got the British people, different type of. So there is no excuse where that you would say Africans and Asians, these are the two main people, Africans and Asians, we are not included in this digital space. There is this subtle bias that's happening. And a couple of people are not talking about it again because the people that use it the most, like you said, are the Western people. We Black people, we're using it for
frivolous
gimmicks.
things.
We're not exactly. A very few percentage of us are actually using it for a couple of things, are using it for the right reasons. But we're not using it for important things. This is why we can't see that there is this very deep, this very deep bias that's going on. Would I blame the tech giant companies? Yes, I will blame them. I will blame Claude. What's Claude's big brother? What do you call it? Claude's father, Anthropic. I will blame them. I'll blame OpenAI. Yes, of course, I'll blame Google. Google is like the main organ in the middle because when .com started and we had search engines and people could go on Google and search, Google were the ones that were adding those metadata. Google are the ones that introduced algorithmic bias. If I type woman washing shampoo, the first 20 pictures are going to be
again, it's annoying when they know when Nigeria is having their independence, but they don't know when you are surfing from Nigeria to give you a Nigerian content.
Exactly.
First.
So the thing is, they know where you are surfing from. They know. They have this data. They have that data rather. However, it's just that holistic AI, that bias.
This is mind-blowing.
It's just that bias. Deep down in my research, I was using this. Let me just find it. There is this scale called the Fitzpatrick's ITA scale. It's like a scientific skin tone measurement. So using that in my research has proved that a neutral prompt result for AI would always give you 90% Caucasian bias. And this is because of the inception of the algorithmic bias of how they fed this digital media content with Caucasian and Western data. Again, they are lazy. I think they are lazy. They're just lazy to find Black content because they can't tell me. Black people are making videos. Black people are writing newsletters. Black people are publishing
we have
research.
Black people
are doing
we have a lot
writing
of Black
books.
people doing a lot of stuff.
We are doing a lot of things. If you type Black on Google, you're going to find a lot of things. So they can't say they don't have it. They do. But there's that subtle bias. Are we going to say, oh, racism is still in place? Yes, of course. It's just subtle racism. It's subtle racism. It's sad that many people are not talking about it. Like I said, the way to move forward is for Lagos, Nairobi, South Africa to just create their own data bank of our own sovereign AI data bank. But this now begs the question: can Africa?
That is the question.
Do we have the money? Do we have the resources?
We don't.
And even if we do have it, we don't have leaders that are smart enough
that are even progressive, that want to invest in such a venture, because we have to win elections.
So we are at the mercy of white people. Exactly. So at this point, we are at the mercy of these white people. Yes. Unless we do something on our end, I don't think they're ever going to do something. Because you see how Claude drops updates every week. It just gets me acting. If Claude is doing this thing every week, it means that it's possible for them to find Black data. They can find African data. They just don't want to. And maybe it's expensive. I mean, they are rich. You can't tell me. You still can't tell me it's that expensive. But yes, this is one of the few reasons that I'm beginning to see as I go deep into my research as to understand this AI bias that's ongoing in terms of
I think
AI.
like this is like very informative, very, 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 very informative, in a lot of ways. Like one of the things that we always circle us back to this point is the will, right, and the courage to actually take these bold steps, because these are things the West do that they invest a lot in R&Ds, right? And we here don't even. In fact, our National Orientation Agency barely works, right? And people even really know what it is, right? And now we are discussing something as academic and as innovative and as progressive as AI. And I don't know, I may be wrong, but it's been a while I heard from the Minister of Information and Technology, on this matter, right? I mean, it's been quite a long time. We did an event and we reached out to them 2 to 3 times. They told us there are ways to reach out to them. So why do you have email? You didn't respond to the email. You barely respond to the email. You respond to the email, sending us to another parastatal. Then we got to the parastatal. They say, sent us back to where we were coming from. There's no organized structure, and we are trying to build something. So you have to know somebody that can now respond to your email. I mean, I don't think we are actually ready, because there's quite a lot. Most things are politicized, when you say, we have built AI centers. It's just to win election. It's just to look good in the eyes of the people. I mean, it has always been like that, but we are too straightforward with our own corruption. We are just too straightforward with the corruption, and we don't think that at the long run it's going to affect us. I mean, it's going to affect us at the long run. I mean, there's quite a lot of opportunities to explore, and which we'll keep having this conversation definitely. And the opportunities are, are endless. So, like I said, I think we'll have to create a series where we'll have to come back to this conversation around the AI and the progress that is being made.
Yeah, we should.
And then, take it up from there. But thank you so much, Joy, for this informative. I mean, it's so mind blowing. It's so mind blowing. I'm mind blown. Honestly, I'm trying to make the podcast not to be too long, because there's still a lot. If you start talking about this AI, in more of a research and academic sense,
can't finish today.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I mean, let's not even talk about some of the biases. Some people said, some religious people said that 5G was from the Satan, that 5G was going to introduce 666. Maybe AI is the 666 you're actually running. But anyways, I mean, I didn't, you chopped that off. Well, no problem.
Of course. I mean, AI can be used to do. It can be used to do fantastic stuff. It's just it's just depending on how people are looking at it. Like
I responded to somebody on Twitter, right? And this is a conversation I would actually like to have, maybe now or some other time. The person said how to make dollars, like money, with AI, even without knowing anything, without going to school or something, right? And I responded, I said, we can actually market AI without saying that school has a problem.
Because we can't.
It has just been the thing. Go to, like, how to make money without going to school, how to do this without going to school, how would you even... They're actually messing up the algorithm with the stupid prompts they are copying, because it's getting really, like... So, What exactly are we? Where exactly are we heading to? But I mean, just give your final words. We'll come back to this. It's just crazy.
Yeah, of course. I was just going to say that AI can be used for good stuff. I mean, just like the internet, you can use it for the good or the bad. Depend on what you want to use AI for. And it's not free. You're paying for this stuff, so it doesn't make sense that you're paying for it and then you're creating sloppy stuffs. And like I was going to say again that, like what we're building with Summerlens, being able to see that AI can walk you through a symptom check and give you feedback before you go meet your doctor and give you clarity on what you're going through. It's something that is mind blowing. It's not something that I would have been able to do if the year was 2008. But being able to build Summerlens and look at it from the perspective of, okay, somebody is sick, they are on their bed, it's 3 a.m., they don't have to phone the hospital. They just open up the app, just start typing their symptoms and going through the checks. And at the end, the AI give them a guidance on, okay, this is what I think you're going through. Reach out to your doctor. And then in the morning, they can go in and contact their doctor. It breaks down that process. Again, because we notice a lot of people are always on their phone. So let's just give them something to stay healthy, while sitting on their phone. In conclusion, AI has come to stay. we're going to see more of AI. This is not the benchmark. We might see another technology come up. Something else is going to come up. This is one thing about humans. We always tend to build something on top of what we have. But AI is sounding like the final bench now because it's accessible, it's affordable. A lot of people are using it for the sloppy content, for reels content. So this is why it looks like, oh my God, this is the end of it. No, this is not the end of it. We're going to see worse. Come next year, you will not be able to differentiate AI from real again. You might see a video of me like this and you'll be like, oh, this is Joy. It might just be just AI. It might not be real.
Yeah,
Because a couple of things are happening. They're getting better against
that's going to be beautiful to see, and I hope people should start using the AI and stop telling us how to use the AI and why themselves don't even know how to use the AI. I mean, the people should actually
or stop telling us it's from the devil.
From the devil.
Yeah.
You're gonna see more of it because your pastor might start prompting his Sunday message with AI soon. So you never can tell. All right. Thank you so much, Joy. I'm gonna see you.
Thank you for having me, Paul.